Hello everyone, my name is Daniel López and today I am going to present a summary of some of activities and assignments that I completed during my learning process. In these works, I had the opportunity to analyze different topics related to technology, education, my personal skills, and the environment. Each activity helped me understand how technology affects our lives and how we can use it in a responsible way. First, I will talk about the impact of technology in rural and urban areas. Then, I will explain the advantages and disadvantages of technology in the learning process. After that, I will talk about my personal achievements in technology. And finally, I will share some ideas about how we can improve our environment. In the first work, The Impact of Technology in Rural and Urban Areas, I analyzed how technology affects people in different environments. In this work, I showed that technology can provide many opportunities, especially in education, communication, and access to information. However, I also recognized that not everyone has the same access to technological resources. One of the main points that stood out to me was the difference between rural and urban areas. In urban zones, people usually have more access to the internet and technological devices, while some rural communities may have more difficulties. This activity helped me understand that technology can improve people's lives, but it is also important to reduce the differences in access to technology. In the second work, Advantages and Disadvantages of the Use of Technology in the 21st Century Learning Process, I analyzed how technology influences education. In this activity, I identified several advantages. For example, technology gives students access to more information and educational resources. It also allows us to learn through videos, applications, websites, and digital platforms. At the same time, I showed some disadvantages. Technology can sometimes be a distraction, especially when students use social media or other applications instead of focusing on their studies. Through this work, I learned that technology can be a very useful educational tool, but we need to use it responsibly and with a clear purpose. The third work was my personal achievements in technology. In this activity, I reflected on the technological skills that I have developed during my learning process. I showed some of the things that I can do using technology, such as searching for information, completing digital assignments, using online resources, and learning independently. This activity was important to me because it allowed me to recognize my own progress. I realized that I have learned new skills and that I feel more confident when using technology for my education. It also helped me understand that learning how to use technology is important because it can help me in my studies and my future. In the fourth work, How to Improve My Environment, I focused mainly on the environment, the extinction of animals, and the importance of protecting nature. In this work, I talked about how some animal species are in danger of extinction because of human activities, such as deforestation, pollution, hunting, and the destruction of their natural habitats. I also reflected on the importance of taking care of the environment because animals, plants, and humans are all part of the same ecosystem. This activity helped me understand that protecting the environment is not only the responsibility of governments or organizations, we can also contribute through simple actions in our daily lives, such as avoiding pollution, protecting animals, reducing waste, and taking care of natural spaces. Personally, this topic made me think more about how our actions can affect other living beings. I believe that if we become more responsible and conscious about the environment, we can help protect endangered animals and create a better future for nature. In conclusion, these 4 works allow me to learn and reflect on different topics that are part of our daily lives. Through the first work, I learned about the impact of technology in rural and urban areas and the differences in access to technological resources. In the second work, I understood that technology has both advantages and disadvantages in education and that we need to use it responsibly. My third work helped me reflect on my personal achievements and the technological skills I have developed during my learning process. Finally, in the last work, I learned more about the importance of protecting the environment and the problems that endangered animals face. I understood that human actions can have serious consequences for nature and other living beings. Personally, these activities help me see that learning is not only about gaining information, but also about reflecting on our actions and becoming more responsible. I learned that technology can be useful, but at the same time, we must take care of our environment and respect the living beings around us. Overall, these works help me develop new knowledge, recognize my own progress, and become more aware of the importance of making responsible decisions in my daily life. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.